All right, sis. Let's talk about this hustle culture and how it is affecting your perimenopause and menopause symptoms. I know you have a to-do list that's 10 miles long. I know you've got all of these things you feel like you need to accomplish by your 40s, by your 50s. I get it. I get it. I've been there. And to be honest, I'm still there. But we need to understand how this hustle culture is affecting us. So you may say, okay, Tracy, what do you mean by hustle culture? Okay, so here's what the hustle culture is. It is the pursuit of productivity and success by any means necessary. So you say to yourself things like, oh, I got to get my hustle on, or I got to get my grind on, because I have these things that I need to accomplish and these things that I need to do so that I would be successful. I know. Yep. I've been there and I'm still dealing with it. But I also know how that grinding and how that hustling shows up for those of us who are in perimenopause and menopause. So let me tell you how it shows up in your body. Here's the first way you know that the hustle is starting to affect you. Stress. You are stressed, sis. And you know it because your hormones are all over the place. They are out of whack. You can't tell me when the last time you had a cycle that didn't completely take you out of here. Or, as I'm asking the question, wait, when was the last time you did have a cycle? You know, think about it for a second. Stress also affects our hot flashes. The more stressed you are, the more you're going to have hot flashes and night sweats. You know what else stress does to your body? Yep, it affects your mood, sis. So not in a nice way either, but people call you moody. People say things like, I don't know who I'm going to deal with when I get home today. I don't know who she's going to show up as today. Yeah, hustle affects your mood. Hustle affects your stress. Hustle affects your hormones. Here's the second way that hustle affects you in perimenopause and menopause. It disrupts your sleep. And you know I'm a big proponent on sleep and rest, because without sleep and rest, your body does not have a chance to reset. And the hustle culture has taught us that sleep is optional. That's not true for a woman in perimenopause and menopause. You need your sleep. You need your rest. How many of you are trying to go to sleep at night and you can't because your brain will not shut off? Anybody get that? Like, am I the only one that deals with that sometimes? Like, there is a to-do list that continuously plays in my mind when I'm trying to go to sleep. Well, not so much anymore, but used to. And so it disrupted my sleep, because even when I would get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom and come back and lay down, the thoughts would start racing again. And now I'm up a couple of more hours missing sleep because the thoughts start back again. Or how many of you can't even go to sleep at all? Yeah, the hustle culture will do that to you because you're so driven to get your grind on. And let me say this about grinding. Machines grind, sis. You don't. You're a human. So if you're not sleeping, if you're not resting, if you're not rejuvenating your mind with hours of restful, peaceful sleep, yeah, it's going to affect the way you show up the next day. It's going to affect your productivity, which affects your success. Or shall I say success, whatever that looks like for you. Here's another way that the hustle culture affects our perimenopause and menopause symptoms? It affects our physical health. How many of you are participating, actively engaged, being intentional about your self-care? How many? Like, it's part of your daily routine. Like the way you brush your teeth, you brush your hair, you eat your food, you put your makeup on. Self-care is something you do every single day. It is not a one-time event. It is not something you do so once a month or every 4 or 5 weeks when you go get your nails done or get your hair done. No, self-care is something you do every single day. The hustle culture, how it affects your body, is physical. So if you're not taking care of yourself physically, then it's going to show up. How many of you are craving salty foods, sugary foods? Yeah, that's part of you not taking care of yourself. That's you saying that this grinding and hustling is more important than me taking care of myself. How many of you are exercising the way you should? See, I did a whole segment on the importance of exercise. Sis, you got to take care of yourself physically. How many of you are gaining weight? Yeah, it happens. And I did another segment on weight gain during perimenopause and menopause. And I explained to you why weight gain happens. So put that weight gain because of your hormones on top of you not resting, on top of your stress, on top of all of the cortisol that stress creates in your body, and you have a perfect storm of not feeling well, of not showing up as your best self. How many of you just feeling tired all the time, lethargic, fatigued, and no matter how much you rest, which you're probably not resting the way you should be, you're still exhausted. You're not only are you exhausted physically, but you're exhausted mentally as well. Yep, that's what the hustle culture does to you. And here's the last way that the hustle culture affects those of us in perimenopause and menopause. It affects our mental wellness. It increases our anxiety. It increases our depression. It increases our mood swings. Mood disorders are increased. And just the overall feeling of loneliness and sadness. That's what the hustle culture does to us, ladies. And so while we're out here busy trying to get our grind on, and while we're out here trying to make a name for ourselves or check all of those things off of our to-do list, think about what it's actually doing to you. Yep, it shows up. And here's what I like to tell women who come to my private practice. When they come in and they're talking to me about this anxiety, and they're talking to me about the depression, or they're talking to me about scrolling on social media and the things that they see on social media, because comparison is the thief of joy. And you're looking at all of these snapshots of what people are doing on social media and comparing that to your everyday life with the 1,440 minutes that you have in a day. Yeah, it creates stress for you. It creates that cortisol increase, which adds to your belly fat, which adds to your hormonal imbalance, which causes you not to sleep at night, which causes you to feel more fatigue, which creates the cravings that you have. I did a video a few weeks ago, and I talked about how the lack of sleep increases your cravings. Yeah, go back and watch that. So when you think about this hustle culture and what that means to you, how is it causing you to be in such a space that now you are anxious about every single thing you do? Yep, it's the hustle culture. And it came to be in social media. Believe it or not, one of the things that I do with women when they come into my private practice and we talk about their mental wellness, one of the things I do is I put them on a social media fast. As hard as it is, I do that. And I do that because I need them to begin to pay more attention to what's going on in here than what's going on their computer screen or their iPad or their phone where they're just scrolling and comparing. Ladies, you're not a machine. Stop grinding. Stop saying you need to get your grind on. Part of the hustle culture for us, for those of us who are in perimenopause and menopause, should be the hustle game is over. Unless we begin to include a part of that hustle game that takes care of us. There is no hustle more important than your mental wellness. There is no hustle more important than your physical wellness. There is no hustle more important than your self-care, sis. There is no hustle more important than you. So I want you to take that to heart. And I want you to remember what I said here today, that there's nothing more important than you. And now is the time for you to take care of you, for you to show up for you, so that the best version of you shows up for you first, and then it shows up for everybody else. It's okay to exit the hustle culture. It's okay to exit the hustle game. Because really and truly, the better you take care of yourself, the more successful you will be. Think about that for a second. The better you take care of yourself, the more you can give to others, the better you show up for others as you show up for yourself. So that's the thought I want to leave you with. It's okay to exit the hustle game. It's okay to exit the hustle culture. What I want you to do is start to focus on you. That's from me to you, sis, your menopause midwife, because my job is to help you live the exceptional life in the 2.0 version of yourself. All right, until next time, sis, take care of yourself.